Discover the incredible 30-day journey of the poor girl who touched hearts and changed lives. Mia Collins was 16, with the weight of the world on her thin shoulders. The sun dipped low over her inner-city neighborhood, casting long shadows on cracked sidewalks, but she didn't notice. Not today. Today was the day to rally her community. With her mother's health troubling her and her younger brother's homework waiting, Mia balanced her dreams of becoming a nurse against the stark backdrop of economic decay. The local diner felt like home, oil-scented and bustling, but it was a constant reminder of the life she wanted to escape. Just as she wiped down the counter, news hit like a thunderclap. The school she'd grown to love was closing its doors forever. Mia's chest tightened. The latest announcement echoed in her mind: cuts, budget, despair. But this wasn't just a school, it was their lifeline, their hope for the future. "We have to stop this," she whispered, her fingers trembling. The community teachers, neighbors, even the old man who ran the corner shop needed to know how important those walls were. Education was their chance to break the chains of poverty. At first, the mission felt impossible. Strangers eyed her skeptically at community meetings. "What can a teenage girl do?" they murmured, and doubts crept in, whispering ugly words in her ear. But Mia pushed through, driven by the pounding of her heart, fueled by her little brother's innocent laughter. When she told him of her dreams, her own passion ignited. Then, just as the ground felt steadier beneath her feet, Mia's estranged father returned. A war veteran haunted by ghosts of the past, he stood awkwardly on their doorstep with the weight of unspoken words. Anger swirled within her. How could he show up now, when she had fought for everything alone? But somewhere, deep down, she longed for the connection she thought she'd pushed away. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. The town hall meeting felt electric. Tensions crackled like static in the air as residents vented frustrations. "We deserve better. Our kids deserve a chance." Mia clenched her fists, heart racing, contemplating her words. She grasped the microphone. "Please, listen." Her voice broke through the chaos. "We're fighting for our future. My dad served this country, he fought for our freedom like we're fighting for this school." In that moment, the room fell silent, emotional currents shifted as Mia's raw honesty filled the space. It was a thread of connection woven through pain and hope, suddenly binding them all together. Tears glittered in the eyes all around her. Could this be the spark they needed? But even as hope surged, her father's shadow loomed large, and the road ahead felt daunting. Would they find common ground between family and community, between dreams and reality? As the night drew to a close, Mia stood on the steps of the town hall, heart pounding. She could feel her community's need pressing against her, but her own emotions tangled within her. Could one girl's determination really change everything? Hopes hovered in a fragile balance, the impending chaos ready to swallow her whole. As she gazed toward the darkening sky, she wondered if she had the strength to rise above it all or if her dreams would simply slip away into the night. The next morning, the sun kissed the rooftops of the neighborhood, casting a warm glow across the streets. Mia stirred awake, her head still spinning from last night's meeting. Her heart needed a moment to settle, but moments didn't wait, and her brother Ethan's laughter broke through her thoughts, a cheerful reminder of what was at stake. She shuffled into the kitchen, where her mother sat at the table, sipping coffee. The shadows under her mom's eyes told stories of sleepless nights and worries that piled higher than the dishes in the sink. "Hey, sleepyhead," her mom smiled, but Mia could see the cracks forming in her cheer. "What's on your mind?" Mia took a deep breath. "I need to rally more support. Last night felt good, but it wasn't enough. The school, it means everything to us." Her mom's face softened, pride mixed with concern swirling in her expression. "You've got a good heart, Mia. But remember, you can't carry it all alone. We're in this as a family. Yeah, and I'll prove to everyone that we can change this. Mia exclaimed, determination blooming within her. As she headed out to meet her friends, the air felt thick with anticipation. Mia joined a group huddled on the playground, sharing ideas, hopes, and sorrows about their beloved school. Together, they brainstormed, mixing youthful energy with the raw frustration that had built up in their hearts. They painted signs, slogans spilling onto the paper in bright colors: Save our school. Every child deserves a chance. But then came a voice that cut through the excitement, a familiar one. What's all this about? Mia turned to see her father, standing at the edge of the playground, eyes narrowed with a mix of curiosity and skepticism. Dad, we're fighting to save the school. She blurted out, her emotions tightening into a knot in her stomach. You should support us. His expression shifted to one of understanding, eyes softening. Mia, I know how much that place means to you. But this fight, it's bigger than just one school. There was gravity to his words that hung in the air, thickening the atmosphere. Bigger? You don't get it. It's not just a school. It's our future. She replied, voice rising defensively. He stepped closer, searching her face. I do get it. Believe me, I do. It took losing everything for me to understand what really mattered. I had to learn my worth, just like you're learning yours. As the sun dipped lower, casting long shadows on the playground, Mia felt everything collide: her hopes for the school and her complicated feelings for her father, an ache deep within her. Maybe you could help us reach more people, she said hesitantly, a truce forming in the space between them. He looked surprised, almost proud. I'd like that, kid. But don't think it's going to be easy. I'm ready for whatever it takes, she replied fiercely. With renewed resolve, Mia darted back to the group, her spirit lifting again. Their little army of friends, neighbors, and family began to form. They were more than just voices now, bound together by a common goal. But that night, as she lay in bed, the weight of her father's experiences gnawed at her. Did she truly know what it meant to fight? Would he stand by her or only serve as another shadow in her path? So many questions lingered, and uncertainty pressed in like the night. And just when she thought she had a plan, a knock at her door shattered her peace. Mia, you need to see this, her brother's anxious voice came from the hallway. Something told her this was the moment everything could change. What lay behind that door? A new challenge? A revelation? Only time would tell. Mia opened the door, her heart racing. Ethan stood there, a look of urgency painted across his face, cradling something in his hands. What is it? She asked, trying to tamp down the anxiety bubbling in her chest. Ethan stepped inside, his voice low and hurried. You need to see this. I found a flyer on the ground by the school. It's about a meeting for people who care about the school. His fingers trembled slightly as he handed it to her. The paper was crumpled, but the words caught her eye. A town hall meeting. An opportunity to gather support, showcase their ideas, and speak directly to the school board. Butterflies danced in her stomach, and a spark ignited in her heart. This could be it. We can show everyone how important this is. Mia said, energy surging through her. But with that excitement came unease. What if they didn't listen? What if their voices were drowned out? Ethan watched her, his expression turning serious. Are you sure you want to do this? What if things get messy? Mia took a breath, feeling the weight of her brother's worry. We have to try, Ethan. If we don't stand up now, when will we? We can't let our school fade away without a fight. Okay, he replied, nodding slowly as he matched her determination. Let us rally the others. We need as many people there as possible. They spent the next hour making calls, sending texts, and knocking on doors. Every person they reached added another thread to their growing tapestry of support. Mia could feel their movement gaining momentum, a tangible force building under the surface. As the sun began to set, casting golden hues across the neighborhood, Mia felt that this was more than just about the school. It was about community, hope, and unity. That evening, as she tucked Ethan into bed, her mind flooded with thoughts. Would their cause spark enough passion to make a difference? As he drifted off to sleep, his tiny breaths soothed her. But as she settled into her own bed, her father's words echoed in her mind. The complexities of their relationship loomed over her, balancing between their shared past and the uncertain future. She wanted to have faith in him, to lean on him as a pillar of support, yet the doubt remained. The next day felt heavier than usual. The anticipation of the upcoming meeting clashed with the fear of disappointment. As Mia walked to school, the weight of every step grew more profound. Voices of encouragement from her friends filled the hallway, but each cheer seemed to tangle with worries. Would it be enough? At lunch, she and her friends huddled, bouncing around ideas. What if we prepared a presentation? Suggested Lily, her eyes sparkling with excitement. We could show them how crucial the school is to us. Yes. We could share stories, even make a video, Mia added, enthusiasm igniting her voice. But as she glanced around, she noticed some faces were less convinced. Are we sure this is going to work? Alex said, his brow furrowing. What if they don't even care about what we think? The uncertainty in the room shifted the mood, a collective sigh falling over them. Mia felt their fear. Listen, she said, her heart pounding in her chest. If we don't try, we'll never know. And if we stand together, they'll have no choice but to listen. The group murmured, and for a moment, hope flickered in the air. But deep down, Mia had her doubts. As the day dragged on, the buzz of her friends' determination mixed with her own fears. She looked at the flyer again, the ink bold and definitive. In just a few days, they would gather, be seen, and heard, but would it really change anything? That evening, Mia stood at a crossroads between hope and hesitation. With one last glance at the flyer, she realized something. This wasn't just about them fighting for their school, it was also about finding their voice. And then, just as she was about to turn away, her phone buzzed. A message flickered on the screen. Mia, you believe who is backing our cause now. Her heart raced, ready for another twist in this journey. What awaited her next? Mia's fingers trembled as she opened the message. The name that appeared on her screen made her heart leap. Sam, the student body president, had always been a charismatic figure at school. Everyone admired him for his leadership. Mia had watched him inspire students with pep talks and rallies. But would he really back their cause? Pushing aside any doubts, she typed back quickly, "What do you mean? How can you help?" Sam's response came almost immediately. "I'd love to rally the senior class for this meeting. We can get the school board's attention and show that we're serious. Meet me after school in the library." A wave of excitement washed over Mia. This wasn't just a wild dream. Sam's involvement could amplify their voices. She rushed to share the news with Ethan, who was still buzzing from his chatter with their friends. "Ethan. You believe this?" She blurted, her eyes sparkling. "Sam wants to help us. We need to meet him after school." Ethan's youthful grin widened, feeling the momentum of their fight for their school. Yet, Mia could sense another layer of anxiousness settling over him. What if the seniors don't care? They've got prom planning and graduation on their minds, he pondered aloud. "Let us just focus on this," Mia said, her voice steady. "We have a chance to unite everyone and give it our all." The day stretched on, a blur of classes filled with whispers of projects and planning. The bell finally rang, signaling the end of the school day. Mia's heart raced as she made her way to the library. Each step felt like an exhilarating countdown to something big. Entering the library, she found Sam leaning against a table, surrounded by a few students she recognized. There was Jenna, the star athlete, and Javier, the quiet artist known for his powerful work. The atmosphere buzzed with nervous energy. "Mia, glad you made it," Sam called out, gesturing her over. "We need to make our voices heard, and I believe your ideas are the spark we need." Mia felt a swell of confidence wash over her. With Sam leading the charge, they could really shake things up. They began brainstorming together, discussing strategies to present their vision compellingly. What if we showcased how this school has shaped each of our lives? Jenna suggested. We could even layer in statistics about school funding and how it impacts our future. That's great. And maybe we should have some visual representations, like charts or photos? Javier added, his creative mind racing. Mia's heart swelled with pride as they began to shape their message. This felt different. They weren't just planning an argument, they were crafting a narrative that could resonate. But behind the excitement, Mia felt a flicker of old insecurities creep in. What if they failed? What if no one listened? Yet, that thought was swiftly brushed away by the chorus of passion ringing in the room. As the meeting intensified, their paths intertwined like vines, each idea branching out and bringing them closer to a common goal. They left the library energized, a palpable sense of unity shimmering in the air, but Mia couldn't shake the weight of the impending meeting. Later that night, while Ethan slept, Mia stood at her desk, the flyer still there as a reminder. But tonight, it was accompanied by a list of different thoughts, stories, and inspirations they'd gathered. She gathered her courage. If we're going to fight for our school, we need to bring our stories, she whispered to herself. The following day would be pivotal, the day they would gather their voices and courage. The message of unity had to be clear. As she turned off her light, a thought struck her. What if the truth they shared transformed not just the school but everyone in their lives? In her heart, she hoped they could summon the power of change. The night fell silent, but Mia lay wide awake, brimming with anticipation about the meeting. Could they change the narrative of their school and their lives too? As sleep finally began to claim her, her phone buzzed again. A notification, but this time it wasn't Sam or a friend. The text brought a chilling uncertainty. Mia, I need to talk to you. This isn't just about the school. What could that possibly mean? Mia's pulse quickened. She clutched the edge of her blanket, her mind racing with questions. What was coming next? Mia stared at her phone, barely able to breathe. The darkness of her room closed in around her, and that one message felt like a bolt of lightning slicing through her thoughts. This isn't just about the school. What could Jake mean? They hadn't spoken much lately, but she remembered the conversations they used to have, how he always pushed her to think deeper. A soft sigh escaped her lips. She needed to know more. Before she could second-guess herself, she tapped out a reply. What's going on? Can we talk? Seconds felt like minutes. Just as she started to doubt, her screen lit up with a new message. Meet me at the park tomorrow morning. It's important. That added urgency made Mia's heart sink. Tomorrow morning. Could it wait until after their meeting with the school board? But it was clear she had to figure out what Jake was hinting at. As dawn broke, Mia hurriedly dressed, her stomach a knot of anxiety. Ethan was still asleep, oblivious to the internal chaos churning inside her. She slipped out of the house, the cool breeze greeting her like an old friend. When Mia arrived at the park, Jake was already there, pacing nervously by the swings. His usually easygoing demeanor represented an ocean of thoughts. She approached slowly, not sure what to expect. Hey, she said softly. Hey, he replied, running a hand through his hair. Thanks for coming. He looked serious, almost haunted. I didn't want to bring this up. But I think you need to know there are changes happening at the school, and they might not be good. It's about the board's financial decisions and how they might affect everything, including the meeting. Mia felt her heart race. What do you mean? Are they cutting funding? Jake hesitated. It's worse. There's talk of reallocating resources like the arts and sports programs. A lot of things could get cut, and they're trying to keep it quiet. I wanted you to know, in case the meeting doesn't go as planned. Panic flooded her system like ice water. If we fail at getting the board's attention exactly, he nodded. That's why your fight is vital. You need to make sure your message is heard loud and clear. Focus on the real impact these cuts would have. Mia felt the weight of responsibility sitting heavily on her shoulders. This was no longer just about their school, it felt like a battle for the futures of their friends, the arts that made life bearable, the activities that brought everyone together. "We can't let them do that," she said fiercely, her voice laced with determination. "We have to make them see how this affects all of us." Jake nodded, the tension in his shoulders easing slightly. "You're the one who can bring everyone together. Remember what this is about and why you started. You have the power to change things." Something ignited within Mia. It wasn't just a chance to speak, it was her chance to be heard. To make a difference. She felt the fire of passion surging through her veins. "I won't let them take our voices away. We will make them listen." As she said it, a thought struck her. What if they could show the board not just what they were losing but what they stood to lose if they weren't heard? The words swirled in her mind, forming a vision more powerful than anything she had felt before. Jake's presence calmed her, grounding her in this moment, but there was still uncertainty flickering in his eyes. "Be prepared, Mia. Not everyone will agree with us." She nodded, fully aware of the challenges ahead. But there was no turning back now. The stakes were too high. Feeling invigorated, she squeezed Jake's shoulder. "Thank you for telling me this. We're going to do this together. I promise." As they parted ways, Mia couldn't shake the new weight of responsibility. She had to rally her friends, inspire them, show them the full scope of what lay ahead. With determination set in her heart, Mia returned home, still buzzing from the revelation. Tonight, she would share everything with Ethan and the others. They needed to be ready, not just for a meeting but for a movement. But as the sun dipped below the horizon, another message pinged on her phone, this one from Sam. "Mia, can we talk? I think we need to rethink our strategy a bit." What could he mean? All the possibilities swirled in her mind as she began to draft a response. What strategy were they missing? Little did she know that this would change everything again. Mia stared at the message from Sam, her heart racing. She felt a sudden swell of urgency. What if they were missing something critical? She typed back quickly, "What do you mean? Can we talk now?" The reply was almost immediate. "Meet me at the cafe in 15. I'll explain everything." She glanced at the clock on her wall and adjusted her hoodie. It wasn't long before she was out the door, adrenaline surging through her. The fresh air filled her lungs, dispelling some of her worries, but as she walked, a sense of dread crept in. What could Sam have in mind? The cafe was buzzing with customers, the scent of fresh coffee and pastries swirling in the air. Mia spotted Sam at a corner table, his face tense. Seating herself across from him, she felt the need to know right away. "What's up?" He took a deep breath. "It's about the meeting. I've been thinking about how we've approached trying to sway the board, and I think we need a different angle." Mia raised an eyebrow. "Different how?" "Listen," Sam began, looking around to ensure no one was eavesdropping. "We have to show them why these programs matter to the students, not just to us as passionate supporters. We need to highlight personal stories, connect on a deeper level. If we can make them feel the impact through individual experiences, they might listen." She leaned forward, processing his words. "You mean tap into people's emotions?" "Exactly. Think about it, we can gather testimonies, create a video, something real. We need to show them what cutting the arts means to students. It's not just about losing a class, it's about losing part of who we are." Mia felt a spark of excitement. Sam's idea could work, it could transform their movement. That's brilliant. We could even involve the community. I know some parents and teachers who would be willing to share their thoughts. We could host a weekend event. Yes. Imagine if we have a showcase, bring in artists, musicians, make it a celebration of what we stand for. Sam's eyes gleamed with fervor. But we need to act fast. We don't have much time before the meeting, and the board is going to make decisions soon. Panic bubbled again in her gut, but it was mixed with a strange anticipation. "All right, then let us do it. Let us spread the word, get people involved. We need volunteers, promote it on social media, make it big so everyone understands how much is at stake." "Yes. And I'll start drafting a plan. He grabbed a napkin and scribbled furiously, his determination infectious. As they brainstormed, Mia felt her worries lift. Each idea felt like a step closer to the goal. But then, just as a sense of hope filled her soul, Sam hesitated. But there's something else, something I didn't want to mention. Some of our classmates, they might not be on board with this. Affairs of the heart, loyalties could get complicated. Mia's smile faded slightly. What do you mean? Are they thinking about staying silent? Maybe. Some are close with the board members. They say they don't want to stir the waters. An icy wave of uncertainty washed over her. But we can't afford to play it safe. This is bigger than them. Exactly. But we'll need to convince them. We can't risk losing their voices too. The weight of their task settled on her shoulders again. The stakes were higher than she had anticipated. Not just for their mission, but for friendships that could teeter on the brink. Sam looked at her, concern etched on his face. Mia, can you lead this? Empower everyone to share their stories? It could really make a difference. She swallowed hard. The pressure of being the voice of change was daunting, but she couldn't back down now. Yes, I'll do it. I'll reach out and get us a plan. This is our moment to show everyone why we fight. No more hiding. We'll make sure everyone is seen and heard. As they finished their meeting, an odd feeling welled up in her, a mixture of excitement and fear. It was clear they were heading into uncharted territory. But the thought of their stories swirling around like wildfire motivated her to believe in something greater. As she stood to leave, another message flashed on her phone. It was from Ethan. Mia, I need to talk to you. I have concerns about your plan. Her stomach knotted again. Was the support she needed slipping away? What could Ethan be worried about? Determination surged within her. Let us figure this out together, she whispered to herself as she stepped back into the bustling world. But as she pushed through the crowd, she couldn't shake the unease. What if the wheels of change began to grind against the bonds of friendship? How would she navigate the storm brewing on the horizon? Mia felt the weight of Ethan's message settle on her chest like a stone. Her fingers hovered over her phone, heart racing. Could she risk talking to him right now? Sam's plan was their ticket to turning the tide. She had to focus. Setting her thoughts aside, she stepped outside into the crisp evening air. The cafe's chatter faded behind her, replaced by the scuffling of leaves and the distant sounds of laughter. She needed to surround herself with the energy of the community they were trying to reach. Inspiration would come from the stories she would gather. Her first stop was the local park, a gathering place where students often came to unwind. As Mia walked, she spotted a group huddled together, deep in conversation. They were sketching out ideas on a picnic table. With a deep breath, she approached. Hey everyone. We're planning something big to save the arts programs at school. We'd love your input and help. The group turned, their faces lighting up. Janelle, an aspiring painter, leaned forward. What do you need us to do? Mia felt a rush of warmth. We're thinking of hosting an arts showcase, testimonies, music, live performances. We want the board to feel how impactful the arts are in our lives. Liam, a shy guitarist, spoke up. I can play a few songs. I've written some about how the arts helped me express myself. Mia's heart soared. Exactly. It's about showing who we are. Every story matters. As the group brainstormed more ideas, her phone buzzed again. It was Ethan, his name lighting up the screen. She bit her lip, torn. Something told her he wasn't coming at her with support. Would it be wise to keep pushing him away? Just then, Janelle brought her back to the present. Mia, what if we created a visual wall of memories? People could submit photos or notes about what the arts have meant to them. That's perfect. Mia exclaimed. They exchanged ideas, each one firing up her excitement. She started to feel the momentum swell around her. They could really pull this off, later, with a few more numbers exchanged and promises made, Mia took one last look at the park, filled with shadows of laughter and creativity. She could already envision how it could all come together. But the twinge of Ethan's message reminded her of the fractures they were facing. "All right, Mia," she whispered to herself, mustering her resolve. "You've got this." Just as she turned to leave, she received a notification. "Please meet me at the corner near the library. We need to talk." Ethan. The architecture of doubt loomed over her. What could he possibly want to say? As she walked toward the library, the cool breeze whispered secrets into her ear, urging her to hurry. What if Ethan would stand with them? What if he would throw a wrench into their plans? Each step felt heavier, her stomach twisting as she thought about the confrontation ahead. When she reached the library, Ethan was leaning against the brick wall, arms crossed. His expression was shadowed, unreadable. "Mia, about your plan," she swallowed hard. "Are you in or out?" He pushed off the wall, stepping closer. "That's not what I wanted to say. I've heard things that could change everything." Mia's breath caught in her throat. What did he know? The stakes were raised, another challenge posed. Would this revelation be the key, or would it shatter their resolve? She locked eyes with him, anticipation coursing through her. "What do you mean?" The air felt electric as she awaited his answer, unsure if this moment would solidify their efforts or threaten everything she had just begun to build. Ethan took a slow breath, his gaze piercing into her. "I overheard the school board talking. They're planning to cut even more funding for the arts next month." His words landed like a punch. Mia felt her heart drop. "What?" She gasped, processing the weight of what he was saying. "More cuts? But we thought we could at least present our showcase to show how important these programs are." He nodded, frustration etched on his face. "Exactly. But if they cut the budget now, it could be a done deal before we even get a chance. We have to act fast. We need allies." Mia's mind raced. Allies? Like who? Ethan shifted, glancing down the street as if expecting someone to appear. "There are students from other schools who feel the same way. If we can unite everyone against this, maybe the board will listen, maybe they'll rethink their decision." Mia's heart began to beat faster. The idea of joining forces with others ignited a spark of hope within her. "You mean we could create a cross-school event?" "Exactly," he said, his eyes lighting up. "Imagine bringing together artists, musicians, and performers from everywhere. It would be a showcase so big they couldn't ignore it." Her thoughts raced. It could work. It had to work. But how do we get people on board? What if they think it'll be too difficult? Ethan shrugged, a hint of a smile breaking through his worried expression. "We'll have to convince them, show them that banding together is worth the effort. If we share our stories, it could resonate with everyone. It's not just about saving programs, it's about saving passion, creativity." She clenched her fists, excitement bubbling up. "Okay, so what do we do first?" "Let's start by reaching out. We set up a meeting with students at other schools. We can use social media to spread the word and gather interest. If we can create an online buzz, they might come to us," he said. Mia nodded eagerly. "And we can promote it as a festival, something fun and creative. It will draw people in. We can share our dreams, our experiences." Ethan's eyes sparkled with admiration. "That's it. Let's make it meaningful. Every student's story matters." As they spoke, the air crackled with energy, both of them igniting ideas and possibilities. But as the sunlight began to fade, a lingering doubt clawed at Mia's heart. What if they don't want to help? She asked, her voice low. What if we reach out and no one cares? Ethan stepped closer, peering into her eyes. Then we keep pushing. We don't give up, Mia. We show them the power of community. We can fight for what we love even if it feels impossible. Mia wished she could summon that kind of unwavering faith. She felt fear flicker beneath her resolve. But Ethan's presence pushed back the shadows. All right. So we start tonight? Tonight, he confirmed, his enthusiasm infectious. As they began to walk together, Mia looked up, feeling a strange mixture of anticipation and anxiety. A new path was unfolding, one that demanded bravery from her at every turn. They reached the corner of the street, where the city lights twinkled like distant stars. With a soft sigh, Mia suddenly found herself staring at him again. Ethan, she hesitated, searching for the right words. Are you really sure you want to do this? I mean, this could get messy. We might face rejection. He glanced at her, the expression serious yet unwavering. I'd rather risk all of that than sit back and watch everything I care about fade away. Mia felt her chest tighten. Did she have the same fire? But as her heart raced, she realized she did. Maybe this was what they needed, a chance to fight together, to stand up. Just then, Ethan pulled out his phone, tapping rapidly. I'll create a group chat for us to start organizing. We'll set a meeting for tomorrow. Mia could only nod, a surge of determination rising within her. But even as they walked on, another thought lingered at the back of her mind. What other challenges awaited them? As they turned to head in separate directions, Ethan shot her one last look, hope etched in his features. We're in this together, Mia. No matter what. Her heart fluttered at his promise, but uncertainty gnawed at her elsewhere. Could she really keep that promise alive? And what if their efforts attracted unwanted attention from the board? As she walked home, the questions tore through her thoughts. Could they really turn this tide, or was she dancing on the edge of failure? The night grew darker, the future murkier. With every step, Mia felt the weight of their mission pressing down. But she was ready to fight for Ethan, for the community, and above all, for the arts. What she didn't expect was just how formidable the opposition would be. The next morning dawned with a bright, golden light spilling through Mia's bedroom window. Her phone buzzed incessantly on her bedside table. A flurry of messages from the group chat Ethan had created lit up her screen. Excitement coursed through her as she remembered their bold plan. They were going to challenge the school board, and here they were, ready to rally. She jumped out of bed, her heart pounding like a drum as she scrolled through the messages. There were confirmations from students at multiple schools. Support poured in from friends and others she barely knew. Each notification felt like a small victory, igniting her belief in this cause. Mia dressed quickly and made her way to school, her mind buzzing with ideas. Could they actually bring something like this to life? She pictured the festival Ethan had described, kids dancing, musicians strumming lively tunes, artists displaying their work. It would be a celebration, not just a protest. As she reached the school gates, she caught sight of Ethan waiting for her by the entrance. He leaned against a wall, scrolling through his phone, but when he saw her, he brightened instantly. Look at this, he exclaimed, waving his phone. We've got 3 more schools confirmed, plus some local artists expressing interest to perform. Mia felt a beam of hope shoot through her. This is amazing, Ethan. We're really doing it. She couldn't help but smile, envisioning everything they had discussed unfolding before her eyes, but then, the weight of what they were up against crashed down on her thoughts. She bit her lip. What if the board shuts us down? What if they try to silence us before we even get started? Ethan's expression turned serious, but his resolve didn't waver. Then we need to be louder. We need to show them how important the arts are, how vital creativity is to our lives. If we speak out with passion and unity, they can't just ignore us. He was right, but it felt so risky. Mia hated the thought of confrontation. What if they were dismissed? What if all their hard work amounted to nothing? She took a steadying breath, wishing for courage. Okay, let us focus on the planning. We need a timeline and make sure everyone is on board for promotion. The two of them dashed off to the library, where they could brainstorm without distractions. Mia scribbled pages of notes while Ethan punched numbers into his phone, organizing invites and creating a direct contact list. Hours flew by, filled with energy as they planned speakers, performers, and art displays. The excitement was infectious, and for a moment, Mia felt invincible. She started seeing visions of everything they were working towards, but a shadow lingered in the background. Once they wrapped up their planning, they stepped outside. The sun hung high in the sky, warming their backs. As they left the library, Mia noticed a group of students gathered nearby. They were pointing, whispering, and laughing at something on their phones. "What is going on?" Mia whispered to Ethan, her heart tightening with apprehension. As they drew closer, Mia realized they were watching a video. On it, she recognized herself, speaking passionately about their mission during a previous art class. The clip had been edited with mocking captions. Laughter erupted from the group, and Mia felt the heat rise in her cheeks, shame flooding over her. "Look at the wannabe activist trying to make a difference," someone shouted, sending another wave of laughter through the group. Mia wanted to disappear. She clutched Ethan's arm, feeling the weight of the ridicule crash over her. "We can't let them derail us," he said softly, his voice firm. "We can't give them that power." But as Mia looked around at the smirking faces, uncertainty gripped her once more. What if they were right? What if she was just a fool for dreaming? She took a deep breath, determination starting to flicker. "You know what?" she said, her voice steadying. "Let them laugh. We'll show them it's not just talk." Ethan smiled at her, and together, they moved forward. But deep inside, doubt twisted alongside her. Resolve. What if the laughter got louder? What if the mockery turned vicious? As they stepped back into the busy halls of their school, Mia's heart raced with both fear and hope. They were about to challenge a system bigger than themselves. Could they really do it? The hallway suddenly felt huge, the stakes huge. But one thing was for sure, they were in it together. What Mia didn't anticipate was just how personal the fight would become. The day of the showcase had finally arrived, and the energy surrounding Mia was electric, crackling like a live wire. The community park transformed into a vibrant canvas filled with colors, sounds, and stories, each corner bursting with life and creativity. Banners hung, proclaiming the urgency of their fight, and tables were laden with art and crafts, waiting for voices to be heard. As Mia stood at the edge of the park, she couldn't help but feel the weight of every person who had poured their heart into this event. Ethan's hand found hers, squeezing it gently. "We did this, Mia. Look at everyone coming together," he said, his eyes glistening with inspiration. Mia took it all in. Friends, family, students from different schools all joined in solidarity. But even with the excitement buzzing around her, a shadow of doubt clung to her. What if the board doesn't show? She murmured, anxiety creeping back in. "They will," Ethan reassured her. "This is bigger than just us now. They can't ignore it." His conviction lifted her spirits, and Mia turned her focus back to the crowd. Students began to set up stage equipment, while others arranged art displays. As things fell into place, Mia felt her heart swell. This wasn't just about fighting for their school anymore, it was about pulling together as a community. Each piece of art showcased stories that needed to be told. A commotion at the park entrance made heads turn. Amidst the chatter, she saw Sam striding forward, flanked by a group of seniors from their school, a few she recognized from the video that had been shared. They approached with a mix of apprehension and respect. "Mia, we came to support," Sam said, breaking the tension in the air. "Sorry for the trouble caused by that video. Your fight matters." Mia blinked, surprised but grateful. "Thanks for being here. We need all the voices we can get." The bench below the stage was filled with students preparing to share their stories. The dusky sky began to darken, and a hush settled over the crowd. Mia took a deep breath, her heart pounding, as she nodded to her friends. "It's showtime." One by one, students stepped up to the mic, recounting how arts classes and programs had empowered them, helped them express their feelings, and shaped their identities. Laughter, tears, and gasps rippled through the crowd as they shared their vulnerabilities and triumphs. Each testimony felt like a brick laid in the foundation of their movement. When it came to Mia's turn, she stood with trembling hands at the edge of the stage. The faces gazing back at her seemed eager, hungry for change. "I'm here not just for me but for all of you," she exclaimed, her voice strong yet emotional. "We fight for a future where creativity can thrive, where our kids can express themselves freely." Cheers erupted from the crowd, a wave of support crashing over her. For the first time, she felt a rhythm in her words, the unshakable pulse of hope connecting them all. As she stepped off the stage, a sudden stillness enveloped the park. Mia's heart sank. Could this truly be enough? But then she saw Ethan, Sam, and countless friends rise together. They clapped, shouted her name, fueling her spirit with more strength. Out of the blue, a car pulled into the park, a patrol vehicle. The onlookers murmured, anxiety creeping in as they awaited what would happen next. The officials emerged, scouting the area. From the way they moved, it appeared they were there to assess the situation rather than shut it down. As one of the officials approached the stage, the crowd quieted down. "We've received reports about the event and are impressed by the number of supporters. It's clear the community has bonded over a shared vision," he stated firmly. "We will take your testimonies and review them personally. Your voices have been heard." A wave of relief swept over Mia as cheers filled the air again. She held on to Ethan tightly, tears shimmering in her eyes. Maybe, just maybe, they could change everything. Hours later, as the festival wrapped up, Mia found herself surrounded by a circle of laughing friends and family. She saw her mother, worn yet proud, standing next to her estranged father. The distance between them felt lighter. "Your words today, they were something else, kiddo," her father said, his eyes reflecting the light of a new dawn. "Thanks, Dad. I couldn't have done it without everyone," Mia replied, glancing around at the faces that had become her backbone. Ethan nudged her side. "So, what's next?" he asked with a twinkle in his eye. Mia felt a surge of inspiration. "We keep fighting. We build bridges, spread the word, and ensure everyone knows how vital the arts are to us." As the sun dipped low over the horizon, Mia looked up at the sky, a sense of purpose wrapping around her like a warm embrace. She felt transformed, empowered not just to dream but to act. With her community beside her, she knew they could face any storm that came their way. The road ahead was still long, but now, Mia had a family, a community ready to rise together. And from that moment forward, she was determined to lead the charge into a brighter future. But now, dear friend, this is your moment. You need to subscribe now to not miss the next exclusive stories. Hit that bell to receive notifications so you're always in the know. Like this video right now to feed the algorithm and keep our community growing. Don't forget to comment your thoughts and feelings about this powerful ending. And finally, share instantly with at least 5 friends who need to see this inspiring transformation. Only true fans understand the importance of supporting our channel. Let us do this together.